Hello and welcome to the My Amazon Guy podcast. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. Today's guest is coming from PickFu. We've got Anthony Cofrancesco. Did I say that right?
Perfect, Stephen. No,
Sweet.
that was great.
All right. So excited to have Anthony on. Anthony is a really good guest. He has a lot of good storytelling abilities, easy explanations, and he takes complex situations like how to A/B test or optimize a listing, improve conversion rates, and click-through rate. So, Anthony, I'm excited to have you on. And by the way, guys, we've had Anthony in a lot of our content. We've done, half a dozen videos on PickFu. We do sponsor them. We're also certified PickFu testers as well. And a lot of times podcasts will wait till the very end to give their giveaway or perk. I'm just going to throw it right in the beginning of this video. If you want to get 50% off your PickFu, just go to pickfu.com/myamazonguy. All right. So Anthony, tell us why people should run an A/B test.
Look, Stephen, the thing is, everything we do in our businesses, right? We're testing things all the time. And a lot of the times, anyone who's run a business, we often have very little idea of what's actually going to work in the end. And so when it comes to things that are on your listing, right, you just don't know what you don't know. And so we'll probably talk about a lot of this today, but split testing is probably one of the more valuable things that you can do on your listing in terms of increasing your click-through rate, your unit session percentage. But it's something that a lot of people don't do. Most people are just kind of uploading their images, putting them up on the listing, going with what their design team creates first, and they're not ever trying to improve over time the designs. And yeah, we're going to talk about why that's probably a big mistake.
So here's an example of an A/B test. This is one that we ran at My Amazon Guy for my brand Age of Sage. You can see the biggest difference here is the flour versus no flour. We also changed the soap. So technically we tested two things, but we had ran a different version of this test where we had labels on and off, and we put the flour in, and that led to a different result. And so one of the things we like to showcase is how you got to limit your A/B test result. Make sure the question's really simplified to do that. So here's the other example, and see how we got a different result because we tested flour plus labels on and off. And so that's one of the things we always look out to do when we do some of this testing. All right, so Anthony, what's new in the optimization world? Like how could I use an A/B test to take my game to the next level?
So where you can really use it, where I think it is a ton of benefit, is you can start using it in conjunction with Manager Experiments, which is a split testing tool that is actually allowed to run through Amazon. So this is something that you can do inside Seller Central. You can A/B test a product title, you can A/B test a main image, or you can A/B test an A+ content for eligible ASINs. The problem is, this is a very, very valuable tool. The problem is that Amazon, as all of Seller Central is, it's not optimized and it doesn't really work very well. It's also very slow. So if you want to go and run a managed experiment test, it's going to take minimum. Go ahead.
Weeks of data.
Minimum of 4 weeks. And I'll tell you right now, I'm running a managed experiment. And if they say you're supposed to start getting data within a few days, it's been now like 12 days and it still says no data to show. So here's the problem with that, right? It's like once you go and put something onto your listing, it's a big waiting game. You're like hurrying up, getting all these designs done, and then you put it there, and then you wait for 4 weeks, and you won't even know if it was the right choice or the wrong choice for the first week, for the first 2 weeks. And so for me, it's like what I've been telling my design teams more and more is like, we will get the thing perfect up till the point of upload, because once it's uploaded, it's just sitting and waiting. And so the new thing in the game right now, I think in terms of optimization is like, how can you, if you have a portfolio of ASINs, how can I make sure that I always have one test running? Because here's the thing, Stephen, it's like, this all just takes time to do. And it's not labor hour time, it's just actual time to test. And so the cool thing about doing this is if you're able to do a main image test, pick up a few percent, then you go and do an A+ content switch, pick up a couple percent. This is like 2-3 months that your competitors can't go and catch up to, right? There's only the way to do this is to just sit there, and it's annoying as anything, but it's just what you got to do. And so using PickFu to validate prior to uploading is a smart move.
So there's a very fast time to market element advantage here. And, I think the fastest PickFu test I ever ran took less than 30 minutes to get all the results in. I mean, it's super fast. So it's a powerful opportunity. All right. So we're going to go to some of our questions. And for those that are watching, we'd love to hear your questions as it relates to design, conversion, click-through rate. So Anthony is an expert in trying to improve a conversion rate of a listing as well as the CTR or click-through rate. So let's go to our first question here. This one comes in from Moz. When doing A/B tests with PickFu for potential product, will other sellers or competitors see the results?
Yeah, so the answer there is no. Everyone on the panel who's on the testing panel, they're bound by a very strict confidentiality agreement. So they sign an NDA. And so none of that information gets out. There is something, we have a PickFu public poll gallery where basically when you're checking out, it'll give you the option like save $5 and add to our public poll gallery. It's very obvious that you're doing it, but if you click that, obviously people are going to be able to see it if they look in the gallery. But by default, everything is private. Yeah,
I like saving $5, so I generally make mine public. But
if I don't really care so much, I'm like, yeah, I'll save the $5.
Yeah, and you know, I put all my stuff public on my channel anyway. But a lot of, you know, obviously the advanced sellers, you know, $100,000 a month, you want to keep that data on lock, of course, and not save it. But you know, so like, you know, there's a lot of different ways you could test. Like, so here's an example of one, like just the optimization of the angle of the image. Can you believe 76-24, right? Like, it's really interesting just being able to see how an angle could have such a high preference. I mean, that's 3 out of 4 people, basically.
Well, Stephen, while we're waiting for some other questions to come in, I can share my screen real quick and I'll show you.
Go ahead.
Just one really cool main image example. And so basically, we're starting this thing. It starts this week and it's called Thursday Teardown. And so basically, everyone's familiar with the concept of a teardown. Like you go and look at a listing, you break it apart and you say, okay, here's what I would improve. Here's what I would change.
So on the bottom of your screen, you can hit that share button. And then we'll be able to see your screen.
Heck yeah. Okay, share screen.
Todd, what's happening? Steven, I think Todd's down in Florida. While you're pulling that up, Todd asks, how do you find your testers, pay your testers, and can I target a specific audience such as, and he's getting really specific here. He wants to target fishermen.
Nice. Yeah, we have all of the audience targeting you could want. It's not only demographic traits, but there's also, you know, hobbies and preferences. What type of streaming services are you subscribed to? So we've got a lot of stuff in there. I don't know off the top of my head what categories we have that are related to fishing, but go and check it out and search it. In terms of the panel, we use a third-party panel service. And so our panel specifically has about 10,000 people on it, and they're all based in the US. They're all real people. And everyone always asks, why do they do this? It's because they get paid, right? They get paid every time they answer the questions.
It's and it's a little bit fun.
Yeah.
But Todd, what I would do is, you know, I take your target demographic, right? So if you're looking for fishermen and you know that their target demographics between 45 and 55-year-old men, you could target it that way to narrow it down quite a bit too. All right. So Anthony, you were saying about something you're going to show us here.
Cool. So this I think will probably also get the questions flowing a little bit. So this is something that we are just starting called Teardown Thursday. So this is kind of like nobody's seen this yet. And so my Amazon guy gets the exclusive access.
Woohoo.
And so basically what we wanted to do, we were getting a lot of these requests like, hey, can you tear down my listing? Can you tear down the listing? And so we knew we wanted to do teardowns, but we also wanted to take it a step further where we weren't just going through the listing. We actually hired on a part-time designer purely for the purpose of this project to say, okay, we're going to go and we're going to identify what should be changed with the listing. And then we're going to go and we're actually going to have the designer do it. We're going to run PickFu tests and we're going to show this whole process. Because, you know, with our clients, like I can't show all of our clients' work is very, very private, right? I can't show you polls that I'm not authorized to show. And so we're like, how could we do this? And so what I'm going to show you here is we picked a random product, which was this dog hair trimmer. And I'm going to show you what the optimization process looked like from a main image standpoint, just how simple this is and how straightforward this would be to get started. So basically what I did first and foremost, just to get an idea of like, what should this main image even look like? I went and downloaded, these were the first 8 positions. If I would type in dog hair trimmer, and I pulled the first 8 positions of the main image. And as you can see, there's a lot of variation in the main image. Everyone has something similar, but you'll notice that some, you know, positions the blades over here, some has the case, some has a dog, some doesn't have a dog. And so what we first did is we ran through PickFu just to find, okay, what is the layout, right? What's the winning layout? What is going to be the best way to organize these products and have this be easily digestible by the brain? And this was the one that won by, you know, overwhelmingly did very, very well. So once we started there, then we're like, okay, what's next, right? And so I'm going to probably be a little bit out of order here, but it's going to all make sense in the end. Okay, cool.
And I noticed, you know, like, okay, we got to get a dog in there, of course, right? But what kind of dog? That's where you're going next. I can see.
Bingo, right? So it's like now we decided, okay, this was the winning layout, right? And when I'm trying to optimize main image, I'm always thinking, and you've heard me say this before, 50% flow of information, 50% aesthetic appeal. And so the flow of information on this product, if someone's got the intent to buy the product, they're looking for the dog trimmers, they know this is a kit. The most important thing that they need to see is what's included in this kit, right? What am I actually getting inside the box, right? And so that was first priority, is figure out what is the layout that's going to be easiest for the brain to digest, right? Showing, and it makes sense why this one won. It shows the clips together. It shows the two different attachments. It's got these little, the extra little grooming supplies, right? So once we figured that out and we had the winning layout, then we said, okay, well, this was the dog that won, but let's go and try to find some better dogs. And so as you can see, this was the original winning dog.
All dogs are good dogs, but some
are a little bit.
Some get more clicks.
And so what was super interesting is like, now, why did this dog win, right? And if I actually go and read into the feedback, they were saying that they wanted a dog that was cute more than anything and fluffy, and also a big dog.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't really like these small dogs. We were trying around. So we were there. And then after that, hold on, it's going to be here. And then, so, okay, this was definitely the cutest, the fluffiest dog that we could get. And so this one ends up winning 64%. But Steven, we still said, okay, we're not done, right? We're like, okay,
show us a couple of comments so people can see like what people say.
Yeah. Let's see.
And it's hard to read, so just read them off.
Okay. Yeah, so they're talking about the red bandana, a nice little color contrast. The well-pampered dog seems, retriever-looking pups are nice for the Clipper brand. And some of the other ones, when we were testing the other dogs, they were saying they like how the dog looks happy. They like how the dog is fluffy. Other people were saying too, this we saw a lot, is people were saying this looks like my dog. And so maybe for the golden retriever. So I'll wrap up.
More people have golden retrievers in America, potentially, right? I don't actually know if that's true, but.
So here's the crazy part. And then I'm going to wrap up and just show you the last couple tests. But here's the crazy part, right? Is like the whole theory, the whole hypothesis is like, we've now figured out, like, I'm very, very confident that we've figured out this is the best way to do this main image by putting the blades in the middle, showing the two different blade sizes, showing what's included, and then having specifically this dog, this orientation with this dog. And so getting back to the initial image, like, this is the kind of stuff that you can very quickly, this was like about a week of work, not even full-time work to put this together. And so when I showed the initial image, the one in the very beginning, right, these are all real main images that are currently up in the first 8 positions. If you start moving beyond the first 8 positions or even going to page 2, like, it gets ridiculously bad. And so the point being is, like, with this whole series, we're just giving away, you know, if someone knows who sells this product, like, I would strongly encourage, if this was your image or this was your image or this, any of these that weren't like this one or this one, if you change it, there's probably going to be a big impact on the brand.
The amount of clicks.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just the amount of clicks you're going to get in search, and a higher click-through rate leads to higher SEO rank. All right, and then higher SEO rank leads to more sales. You need traffic and you need conversion to get sales. And so without the traffic, though, that's the easier one to fix, right? It's like 10 times easier to fix traffic than it is to fix conversion. And the main image is a great example of this, right? If you fix the main image, that's just to get them to your listing to begin with, right?
Yeah.
So big difference. All right, so let's go to Ruben's question here. Is it possible to target price range on the advertising in case customers filter price range? Only my ad will show up. So I know he's not asking about PickFu, but on PickFu testing, can you target by price? I know you can target by.
You can target by income. That's super common. So you're like, hey, I want to just show this to people that make over 100K or under 50K, whatever it is. But yeah, you can do that.
But Ruben, I don't believe there's any Seller Central control mechanism to control, like, I only want my ad to show up for certain price ranges. Now you could advertise against other ASINs, right? So like you could target an ASIN that's between a certain dollar figure by doing like a product category targeting function that is available. However, all right. So Anthony, when you think about these split tests, like, what is your top 2, top 3 test you want to run on a listing or main image to make an improvement?
Probably the biggest thing is going to be, just like I showed in the beginning, just starting off with just a basic competitor test, right? So it's
like my item versus your item,
or even like, yeah. So basically, I would just go and pull the top competitor main images, run them, literally just download them, upload them into PickFu, and just be like, which one of these is most. And I use the specific question phrasing, which image is most eye-catching, and would encourage you to click into the listing to learn more about insert name of the product, right? Or insert the product. But yeah, just running a quick competitive test and figuring out, okay, clearly the people who are on page one are there for a reason. Now, it might be because their price is low. It might be because, whatever, but probably it has a lot to do with the metrics, right? Like, you can only fool the algorithm for so long. And so they're there because their listings are converting and because they're getting sessions, they're getting clicks, right? That's just the reality. And so even if the listing is garbage, there's probably some basis of things that you want to look in. And so if you just run that through PickFu and try to understand, what do people like about these main images? What do they not like? How can I go and create a version of my own that's even better?
All right, so I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to go onto Amazon and maybe do, so if I go over here, maybe you could run us through like how to run a PickFu test. So on my smudge sticks here, I know that this is not the best way to show 100 pack of smudge sticks. What would you do with this main image?
Yeah, so it's super interesting, right? Like, first thing that I would start to think about is just, okay, again, think about, we want this main image to be effective. We want to think about 50% flow of information, 50% aesthetic appeal. So if I'm thinking flow of information, right? Like, okay, what's important that people need to know about this product? It's really just sage sticks, right? Like, it's just 4-inch sage sticks, and there's a pack of 100 of them.
And there's a lot of them, right? Yeah. So if you go to the, I'm out of my 3-pack right now, but if we go to the 6-pack, you can see a much bigger shot, and we show the actual 6, right?
Yeah.
And we know that most people are going to end up buying that. We push all the ads to the 3 and the 6-pack, right? But there's better margin on the 100-pack, and so I'm like, what do I do with this? How do I even think about how to run a test with it? What would you do?
Yeah, so I would start, first thing I'm always going to try to think about is flow of information. And that's like, could I show, if someone is searching, they get it to Amazon, they type in like these sage smudge sticks, what do they need to see to indicate that I've found the thing that I'm looking for, right? Versus like something else that could pop up that has the word sage in it, but it's not what I'm actually looking for. And so sage smudge sticks, I don't know anything about this product, so I'm not going to be too good at this, but like, imagine, could you show the product in use? Could you show something that gives context as to like that this is a smudge stick and not something else that might be confusing with it? I don't know how that would work. Maybe you'd show it in someone's hand. I don't know enough about this product, but really trying to think about like, can I show it in use? Same thing for the pet trimmer example. It's like, I'm thinking of flow of information. Like, what is someone, they're searching for this pet trimmer. What do they need to see before they can just click into the listing? I don't know how much we're going to be able to do here because it's,
that's all right. So that one's a bad example. If you're watching this,
but on the other half of the thing, right? So it's like flow of information. There's probably not much you can do to optimize there because you're just going to drop the product. You probably can't show it in use. But the other half of a successful image is going to be aesthetic appeal. Now there we can do a lot, right? You just showed me another image in your secondary image gallery, which was like a more zoomed in one. You've got this 100-pack. I would start thinking of like, literally, what can I do to just make this look different? So can I organize these in a circle? Can I do like a semicircle? Could I do a design? Could I do a zoomed in one that's showing kind of like the image that you showed in the secondary image gallery where you could see some of the texture of the sage? Could I have some smoke coming off of it? And so at this point, I'm only thinking about like, I would just go to the designer. I'd say, make me 8 different versions of this that we can run through PickFu and just come up with I don't know, like just try anything and just try to focus on what's going to look eye-catching, just eye-catching, and that's it.
All right, anybody in the audience, if you want us to look at your ASIN today to get some ideas, just post your product link or post the ASIN, not the link, into the chat, and we'll be able to type that in and put it on screen. All right, so Anthony, what you've been doing PickFu testing for how long now?
I was doing it back when I had my agency a couple of years ago, so maybe like 4 or 5 years now.
How has the A/B testing game changed on Amazon in the last couple of years?
I think that obviously a lot more people are doing it, and that when I first heard about PickFu, it was a very, very little known thing. Very few people were doing any kind of testing. And even now, still very few people, I think, overall, as like a representative population of all the sellers are doing testing, but people are just taking it a lot more seriously. So like kind of in the example that I was explaining earlier, let me see this. I just want to show, it's like, it's going really granular, right? So here we go.
You got to add your screen again.
Here we go. Your computer.
Then I'll add it to the stream. And then we've got Jeff with an ASIN review coming up. Thomas Haas says, good afternoon, Stephen. Good to see you, friend.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, hit the add screen button. Here we go. Perfect. All right.
So I just want to like just take to the end of here, because this is the real difference in A/B testing, right? Like there's a base level of doing A/B testing where you run like one PickFu test, right? And you're like, okay, I just want to do one small change. That's really straightforward to do, and you can probably get, you know, easy single-digit increases in things like your unit session or your click-through rate. Where the biggest change that I've seen is people are going in a very deep level. So imagine that we're working on this dog hair trimmer and we've created this main image and it's fantastic, right? That would be a very normal A/B test. That would be like 2 to 3 tests that were able to take me from my initial main image to this new main image. But where the real game changer is people saying, okay, well, I'm here at this image, but what else can I do in this image? And the first thing that I came to mind, and we'll probably do something similar on this other teardown, is I was like, okay, what is this brand name go ad, right? Like, what is this little dog here? And so what we start, like, this is what people are doing now is they're saying, okay, this is good, but like, how can I take this to the next level? And then they're testing things outside of just main images. So like you can see here, we're like, this brand name is awful. So we tried to come up with, you know, Royal Trim, Trim Pal, Groom Smart. And we found that, okay, Groom Smart is a much better brand name than Go Ad. Once we had Groom Smart, then we just went in to create, okay, what are some different color variations of that logo, right? And we found, okay, this was the winning logo design, right? And then we said, we didn't really like the trimmer. What if we would go and create different alternate versions of the trimmer color, right? And so we end up with this. And then we test it again. Now the top 3 winning ones, the logo, the new trimmer color, and then you get to the end and it's like now the new trimmer is beating the old trimmer. And all we're doing here, right? Like I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but like right now I'm here in Tulum, Mexico right now. I've never been to Tulum before.
I've been there. Make sure you going to teach the Nietzsche and seeing the temple?
All over. Yeah, that's gonna happen. I think maybe tomorrow. I have an open day, but here's the thing, right? Tulum, this whole city is here purely because of social media, purely because of like people just want to come here because it looks so stunning, right? And this whole city is built around, and yes, there's the historic artifacts and everything, but the fact that you can charge like $300 a night in Mexico to come and stay here is like just mind blowing. But it's all because of how something looks. And the biggest game changer that I've seen in terms of A/B testing is people are saying, okay, if we want to have a brand that's going to be, you know, everyone's looking to 10x their brand or 2x their brand. Everyone's trying to grow. And the only way that I've seen this done is by increasing, you know, you make some improvements to the product, but it's all visual appeal. That's like where everything is going, and testing down to these smallest little things.
I never would have known that you could use PickFu to test a brand name. It makes perfect sense the moment you said it, but it's like you can't. Sometimes you just have to like think about like, what could I test? What could I do? And you had identified with the teardown. Oh man, this brand name stinks. We need a new one. And so so you test it out.
And so that's the thing, right? It's like, and I'm sure you see this with your clients. Like, if I wanted to come in right now, and I'm not saying I would go in and launch, you know, we just picked a random product to do this, but like what this should be very inspiring for someone here who's a seller is to say, maybe you're not selling a pet hair trimmer, but you're in a category that's just as competitive. And you're like, if Anthony can sit down, and our designer, we've been working on this for about a week, but she's not full time. So this is about 20 hours of design work I can put together without even having like a super creative mind, just going and using PickFu to crowdsource creative ideas. I can probably within like a 20 to 40 hour period put together something maybe that's not going to outcompete the current brands, but at least is going to give me a pretty good shot of eventually making it up onto that page just from a metric standpoint. You know what I mean?
So Jeff has posted his ASIN for, as you like to call them, teardowns. I've also called them ASIN reviews. So this is the main image, and we'll go through some of these secondary images. Where would you first start? So direct me on like what you would like to look at to determine what to test.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up Amazon and I'm going to look and see maybe if Jeff could let us know what the primary keyword is or the main keyword that the competitors.
So non-slip grip socks would be my guess, toeless, which is kind of unique. All right, so
Yeah,
if we, all right, so I'll open up another tab here, and we'll type into the search, see what it looks like.
cool. I'm already
Yeah,
looking at it, right? Like it's
yeah,
okay.
this is it.
So okay, cool. All right, so let's just start from the beginning then. Like, or Steven, actually, is it okay if I share my screen and then I'll
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of point out
So
some things here?
just permanently share your screen. I'll just pull it into the stream when we need it.
And the brand name is it Tuckets?
Yes.
Okay.
So here's the brand. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to be looking at this product to determine like what could we do to improve it. And you're going to see how Anthony's going to start that process. So first thing he wants to do, he wants to go look at the competitors and see what they're doing to see if, okay, should we just run our product against the competitors? So Anthony, hit that add screen button in the bottom middle again, and then just leave that up, and we'll pull you into the stream here.
Cool.
So we can see like a big difference. So this particular brand, they showed multiple angles of the same product in their main image, whereas Tuckets is just really showcasing the heel and the secondary shot there. All right, so we're gonna go over to Anthony's screen now. All right, take it away.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, right off the bat, like again, I don't know anything about these products, but obviously these are gripping socks, right? So think about like first and foremost, this isn't this is really straightforward stuff if you think about it in a logical way, right? I've just done this. I've gone to Amazon. I've typed in non-slip grip socks, right? I know that I want non-slip grip socks. What do I need to see to reinforce my mind that these are non-slip grip, right? I want to see what's on the bottom of the heel. I want to see this grippy part. Now, what's interesting about this product that we're looking at today is unlike a normal sock, these are actually have some cutouts here for your toes to come
And
out.
I think that's where the yoga part comes in, right? So you need
Bingo.
access to your toes for yoga.
Yep. And so I think this is super interesting, right? We're doing a good job of showing the product in use. I would start to think of like, could I don't know, this is going to be pretty tight. I think this main image is probably performing obviously pretty well. We'll go into the secondary image stack, but these are small little changes, right? Like I have no idea, right? But like if you would go and maybe like change this so this foot would be over on the right side, basically just flipping
Invert
that,
the image.
you
Yeah.
know, or should she be standing on her toes on one, like, I don't know how to demonstrate this with my hands, but like, she would like rotate a little bit like this and you'd see the full back and the front or whatever. And so like, I don't know what would work there in terms of the main image, but I would just go and say, hey, make 8 different versions and, try to see what we can test. The thing that would be tricky about running a PickFu test against, these other sock ones is because this probably would be the best orientation for a full sock, right? Just to show the back. You don't need to show the toes, but this is actually pretty interesting and unique. So I probably wouldn't, that's probably a fine main image. The other thing that I always want to try to look at is like, just little tiny details. Like, is this really high quality? Like, could you get someone with better, I know it sounds silly, but like, could you get someone with better looking feet? Like, could you get someone with better looking legs? Should instead of showing their legs, right, should they be wearing yoga pants that are like ankle length or mid calf yoga pants, right? Like little things like that. And I want to be very clear on all this stuff. I never have any idea what's going to work, right? I can go and look here and see like, okay,
All you need is an idea, though, right? Like you just need to be able to
exactly,
test
right?
it against something.
Bingo, right? And sometimes I'm going through the PickFu results and then it's like I get an idea just from reading the feedback that I would have never thought of. I was doing a serum bottle the other day and it was like we had one where people were really curious about the dropper, the serum dropper for this facial serum. And it was like such a small thing. Like we had one version where it was like the cap was resting on the bottle and one where it was floating. And, I would have never figured out the difference between the two, but after running the test. Okay, so look, the secondary images, we're going to have a lot more that we can go with here, right? So what I'm always trying to think about is I'm trying to ask myself, what's the point of this infographic, right? And the first thing that you really have to understand is that when people are shopping online, they are very distracted, right? People think that they're a captive audience. They've got their credit card out and they're ready to buy, but they're not, right? They've got the phone going off, kids running around in the background, crazy year with COVID, right? You got to get in, get out. The problem, anytime, this is just me personally, I always try to stick one single concept per graphic, right? So that if someone looks at this, Are they going to be able to look at this and their brain is going to be able to digest as quickly as possible, ideally in like 5 seconds, what's the point of this graphic and how is it going to move me to make a buying action? So when I'm looking,
should he ditch the Columbia reference and just go straight for the features?
Probably, right? So it's like we're talking about sustainability is there. We're talking about that it's made in Colombia.
And there's no picture of Columbia or them making it, but then there's like these feature references.
Bingo.
So like they just kind of stuffed it all in. So yeah, Jeff, I think Anthony's onto something here, trying to make the graphic just focus on that one concept.
And as well too, it's like, so if we were going to break this down, right, all of these breathable, lightweight knit, right? Like think about, okay, you can go and say this about the product, that it's breathable, lightweight knit, but then like, what does that mean, right? And so if I was going to say, again, I want, before someone buys this product, they have these things that they want to check off in their brain, right? They know they want to buy these. They've gone to Amazon, they've typed it in the search bar. They will buy this product. It's just a question of if they're going to buy this one or they're going to buy something very similar. And so before someone actually clicks add to cart, there's a few things that they're going to want to know. And I don't know anything. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm going to keep talking about this product. Why don't you pull up the next one from Rajil? This is going to be an Amazon.ca product. So you can see the ASIN there on screen. So on my side, I took the screen share over just to briefly while Anthony pulls that up. So I like this shot because it really shows the picture with a smile and the person looking at the camera. I think that's really important on some of your lifestyle graphics. A lot of products these days don't even have like a picture of a person in them. And so like you really need to humanize the products. I think that's a really important concept. The fact you can do a group shot here and show multiple feet at the same time, this is a really, really good. And the mention of the certified woman owned, I don't know how important that is to the demographic, but the fact is this image is on point for what it's trying to convey. And as we go through, we got yoga poses really showing that, which is fantastic. Again, nice smiling shots looking at the camera and pointing to the products. So I think the secondary image stack, probably the weakest one, is actually the Columbia one, just because it doesn't really go into the rest of the sway. All right, so I think Anthony's got our next product up. We're going to go over to Amazon Canada with Rajil's ASIN on screen here.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll go through these a little bit quicker so we can get through more of them. First,
I don't know if that's the right one actually. So let's see.
Oh, is that the wrong one? Was it from Ruben?
Rajil. We'll do. You got Ruben's up. Let's go to Ruben's first then.
I got.
All right, stay on Ruben's.
Is it Ruben's? Okay. Yeah. So first and foremost is I would just try to really simple changes. I would just try to make this into a single image that's vertically oriented, right? So like just put this dropper like on the side or on the top, but it looks super weird how it's chopped off. Also, I can tell that this is just like photoshopped. If you can just go, you can get it done very cheap, like 60, 80 bucks on Fiverr. Just go and try to get better quality renders, right? Like this should look like a real item, not like Photoshop. Okay, outside of that, I mean, this is
pretty common in the supplements industry though, to do more of a Photoshop job, but I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm being critical, and we're working on a case study right now with a serum product, and the only change we made was actually just making a better quality render, and then some positioning of the dropper. And so I don't know what the results of that are going to be, but we'll have them in 4 weeks because we just uploaded yesterday. So I'll let you know. If it makes an impact, I'll let you know.
I wonder what the white text on the green on readability.
Yeah. And the other thing too is like this text, it's just like, first I would ask yourself if you need okay, improves heart health, digestion, full of antioxidant. That's like a little bit of a, detox your body, restores red blood cells, right? I would probably make these icons like much bigger. What's like missing out like some kind of headline here that's like, what's the point of this, right? Like I like to be very much in someone's face. And so if this whole, like, what's the purpose of this slide, right? This image is, it's like, this is great for your body, right? Like this is good for your body. And so this should be like very clear on the screen, like fantastic for your body. And like, here's how it's going to do those things.
And we're absent a people picture on this stack too. I don't see any humanization that's lacking. So that's definitely something I would get involved in on.
Right. I definitely agree with that. The thing too is like with all these supplement products, it's supposed to do something for you. And I know you can't make, you can't make these health claims, but think about this, like our brain is very visual. And so if I'm going through this, what am I ultimately looking at? I'm looking at this product, which is not super well Photoshopped, and it's just floating on this thing. And then it's saying ChloroGlow. And it's like, okay, it's a powerful antioxidant, reduce weight, reduce, anti-aging properties. There's so much more you could be doing here. Like if this is saying that it has anti-aging properties, there should be like a photo here
show me
that's
of a
like
person's
showing someone
face.
who, yeah, it's like maybe showing someone who looks like they're older, but they're a younger person. And this is like someone working out. And this is like, I don't know, a blueberry. I'm just coming up with this stuff off the top of my head, but like there's you're really missing out on any kind of visual component here to like, people aren't going to, they can read this, but it should make sense before they read it. The common problem I see with supplements, which is really tricky, is it's very tempting to just like, okay, I'm going to put the product, literally just the product, and then, okay, like exactly like this, 100% vegan, made in the US, gluten-free. So what's the point of this? Is it to say that, okay, is the purpose of this graphic, okay, well, it's made in the USA. Like, why do people care that it's made in the USA? Because it's like higher quality. Well, why are we talking about that on the same slide that we're talking about that it's 100% vegan and gluten-free, which is related to like dietary restrictions? Like, is this okay? And so again, consolidating those concepts into a single graphic versus breaking, having multiple concepts in the same graphic. But then as well too, it's like, I would think about a way to do this where you're not emphasizing, like Stephen was saying earlier, right? It's like, we're taking up 50% of the real estate on this and you're showing the product, right? If I would like total up all the pixel space that is literally just the bottle of this product for this image gallery, it's probably like more than 70, maybe 50 to 60, maybe 70%. That's just the product, right? And so if you think like the customer is here on a fact-finding mission, they want to buy this they want to buy whatever this product is, and they will buy it. And so what are we doing to convince them to buy this product? You're showing them like your bottle 80%. We got to show some more faces. We got to drive this concept home.
Can you A/B test videos?
Sure can. Yeah.
So how does that work? Is it basically the same thing? You just load two videos, the person watches and says, I like this one more?
Yeah, or what you could do, like, we should run it maybe on the next teardown, like on the one that we do on this call, but on the next teardown. Well, let's run a PickFu test.
Let's do it.
We can even run one.
Let's go to reveals up in Canada.
I'm actually curious. Let's see. I don't know if I can. Amazon used to let you download videos straight from Amazon.
No. All right. Well, let's do an easier one because I know image testing will be easier.
Cool.
All right, so we're going to go over to Canada next. So Amazon.ca, and we're going to put Regil's in there with the Bravo 07 MR.
One real quick thing I want to give just before we hop over there is like, this is such a slam dunk here in terms of a concept for a graphic. You're saying like research shows taking 100 to 300 milligrams of chlorophyll supplements, blah, 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 blah. Fantastic. But like, think about like what I would try to do is I would try to go and find out like what this research is. And if it came out of, let's just say it's out of like, University of Alabama, and then it's some research study. It's like, I would try to put this into the most visually impressive way. And I would try to really show this, like, if there's like a graph, anything that you can pull that you can abstract and just show, like, it's like when people have that, oh, hey, as seen on, they've been on like a news article and they just put like the logo of it. And then it's like, no, think about how we can do this in the most visually impressive way. And it's like, I've seen really good things now where people like, it's like they make it look like the article that was written about them is actually in a magazine and someone's reading the magazine and they can see it, right? So it's like,
so really visual.
Think about like, if you were a national level brand, like, does this supplement product, does this look like a national leading brand, right? Like, yes or no? And obviously no one's going to sit here and say like, this looks like a national leading brand. It doesn't. And so what I would start doing is like, if I wanted to start running PickFu tests, I don't even care if I'm looking at like a direct competitor. I just want to go and see like someone else who's selling something similar. What are they visually doing and how can I get closer to that? And it should be very, very clear that like, is this there? Is this there? Like, does this look like a national leading brand? Not yet. Okay, so what am I going to, Stephen?
All right, so the next one you're going to go to is Regil's. While you're doing that, I will pull up my stream. So this is just to continue that product we were just doing. I just typed in liquid drops with chlorophyll here. And one of the things that a lot of people have done is they put a little greenery in there. So you can see that. As we scroll down, there's a lot of bigger bottle angles. But it seems like just kind of like that emoji badge concept with a little bit of greenery has been the most common based on the search results. So there's just a lot to look at and go through, but the dropper not being seen on a lot of the competitor products, right? There are droppers in the search results, but not pulling the dropper out. So that may not be important.
And the thing too to keep in mind about that is like, yeah, you're spending all this time currently on the current main image trying to emphasize the dropper. But like that makes sense if it's like a facial serum product and you're actually going to do it. But like, is this chlorophyll stuff something you put in your mouth and swallow and it doesn't really matter to show the drop? You know, these are things to think about.
And then the other thing too, see how the name of the product is really easy to read on this far right image. I think that's incredibly helpful. Whereas the one on the far left, it takes you significant effort to read that, right? And the brand name kind of blends in and whatnot. But sometimes having a really big single word on the front of the packaging could be really, really impactful. So, Anthony, how are you coming with that ASIN?
I put it in, but
so I've got it up on my side here. So if you go to Amazon.ca and put in that ASIN, it should pull up.
Oh, it's for Canada. Okay.
Yeah. So Batongo trolley bags here. So one of the things I really like about the main image, just on first glance myself, it's very colorful and it showcases just how much stuff each bag can fit, right? So like there's a significant 4-bag cart size. So if this comes with 4 bags, which is what the image kind of suggests, there's quite a bit of an angle there. And
even I'm not figuring it out. Can you just drop me a link and I'll pull it up and then start running some tests?
All right, yeah, in private chat there you go for you. So we're gonna actually run a PickFu test on this while we're live, so you guys can see like how that information is gonna come in. And so the question is like, okay, how are we gonna run the test? And one of those ways that, and I'll let Anthony drive that, but one of the ways Anthony could do that is to take a competitor product to see like how it stacks up and which one is liked more or less by the consumer, right? So like one of those angles could be like, hey, should we just show the trolley or the cart by itself with all the bags, show a full shot like this, or should we cut that like they did in the main image and showcase like how I would carry these bags like that? And I would suspect this image would probably win, but that would be one potential test we could run as well. All right, so Anthony, I think you're getting close to being ready on your side to kind of go through this?
Yep.
Okay. So walk us through. We're going to run an actual A/B test while we're on the session here. So Anthony, what are you thinking?
Yeah. So basically, just went and searched the main keyword right off the bat: reusable shopping grocery bags. First thing I'm going to do is like, okay, there's obviously a few ways, like you're saying, that people are displaying this product, you know, and so some of them are in a shopping cart. As we go further down, some of them are, you know, more like this, where they're not even showing them inside a shopping cart. I'm not going to compare them to the product that's not similar, but basically I've gotten a bunch of these. There's probably like, I don't know, 8. I'm going to try to get 8, and I'm just going to go super simple. I'm just going to download all of these images, and this is literally how easy it is. And we're going to run a poll. We'll probably also run a poll if we have time to do one on secondary images, but just this is going to be very easy. Yeah, you'll see. So I'm just downloaded the images. Okay, so that's 3. So I think I can get all of these. You can run up to 8 options simultaneously on PickFu. Sometimes 8 is overkill. So I'd probably, you know, I don't ever like to tell people to, you know, just like keep it small. If I'm going and trying to make
the more basic the question being asked, the better the results are going to be.
Yeah.
And you know, so you got clear and concise data set. But so what kind of question are you going to ask on this? Like, of these 8 products, which would you be more likely to click on? A question like that, or?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm just trying to see if, I don't know, it's not letting me. Whatever. I'll take that one.
Yeah. Just make sure you got one for Batongo. I believe that's the one we started on.
Yeah, I think I got this one.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then, yeah, so that's all good. So basically, I'm just going to come here. I'm in my corporate account right now, but just imagine you're going to go to the top right. You're going to click Start New Poll. I always come down to upload my options first, but you're obviously going to type in your question first. I'm going to get these. And I actually am missing one. Hold on. Because I also want to get like a good, oh, this one. I want to get a good distribution, right? Because again, I'm just using this for idea generation, right? Like I'm just using this to figure out, okay, these are all the different ways that I could show this.
Ruben says PickFu seems to be a must-have tool. Thank you, Stephen and Anthony, for showing the value and reviewing it. You're very welcome, Ruben. One of the things I really like about it too is it's cheap, it's affordable. $50 to run a test.
I don't know why it's not letting me save this image, but we're just gonna do it anyway. Sorry, one second, guys.
And for those that want to try running your first test today, you can go to pickfu.com/myamazonguy, get 50% off your first PickFu. We're going to be doing one live right now where we load everything. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort to get things loaded over there. Capture 2, I guess.
It's like I do this so many times. It's like, okay, all right, I think we're there. Okay, so there we go. I just want to add in that other cart was very, very boring. And so I wanted to, I didn't have, so you can see here too, it's like, again, I just want people to have something to be able to choose from, right?
All right, so option D is our root one.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And that's the one that is our product we're working on. So, all right, so let's go to the next spot. So our question is,
I'm just going to say which image do
most eye-catching?
Yeah, encourage you to click and learn more about this. What do we say the product was? Like a grocery bag. What was it?
Trolley bags.
Reusable. Are they reusable? Oh, they're like grocery cart bags. Grocery. Yeah. I don't know.
And we're going to have time for one more ASIN product review. So if you're watching this and you want us to do your product next, post it in the comments section. All right, which image is most eye-catching and would encourage you to click and learn more about these grocery cart bags? All right, so that's the question.
These are your options. You can do a head-to-head where they would vote each one versus the other each one, but ranked choice voting is the way you want to do. They'll vote on like, this is my first, second, third, etc. For audience targeting, I don't know so much about this, but we've got a bunch, right? We can, what do we want here? I'll take off dog owners. That's not relevant for this.
So I'd say go generic just for speed for our purposes on the live, but showcasing all the options is great.
Cool. Well, I just put in Amazon Prime members, and we'll just leave this. We'll just let this go. We'll make it public, and we'll let this thing get started. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe you pick, I don't know, people. There's probably things around shopping preferences, but we'll just let that go. Okay, Steven, we'll let this one run in the background, but
maybe we want to know like, a woman's opinion versus a man's, because a man's more likely just to go in and grab bread and milk and leave or whatever. All right, so we got some options with the grocery bags, and so these answers can come in pretty rapidly.
Yeah, you'll see we already have 2 respondents that are answering, and so we'll start getting feedback right away. This whole thing will probably be done in half an hour.
Okay, so let's go to this next product here while we wait. So we got Bravo 00, or that's O's, I guess. I put it up on screen if you can see it.
Cool.
B2, and don't forget to go back to Amazon.com on that.
Is this for Jeffrey?
Yeah, this is Jeffrey Valens.
Sweet. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, sweet. So what do we got here? We got do I know you, Jeffrey? I've seen this product before. Okay, so Vital Planet. So, I mean, first and foremost, I would spend, like, okay, you got to think this about supplements. Like, if you have a supplement product, right, the product is the product packaging. And so, like, we've shown this with the Thrasio case study. We've shown this, like, every which way. I don't know how long this packaging has been around, but I would always think about, like, what can I do to drastically change the look and feel of my packaging, and start from scratch and think about, like, even if you're saying we're not going to relaunch this packaging for 6 months to a year, this is the biggest improvement that I would ever think about making here. And this isn't bad packaging, like, this is totally fine packaging, but you just start asking yourself, like, could this look any different? Could, instead of having the brand name be super big here, Flora Dog, could it be like, okay, that this is a dog probiotic, that it's like really big, that there's 20 billion live cultures? Like, what are going to be the things from an e-commerce environment that people are going to want to see on the packaging? But more importantly, how can this be as visually impressive as possible? Like, if I would ask the owner of this brand, do you confidently believe that this is the best packaging in the entire world for a product in the pet category, right? Like, would I put this into a design competition and be like, I think I'm going to win, right? Like, of course not, right? It's not bad packaging, but what we got to start being really critical of is, like, is this the best it possibly could be? And that's how you're going to start seeing the biggest gains fast. And I would do a lot of tests on the packaging.
By the way, I think Jeffrey's running an A/B test on titles. So everybody look at the title on Anthony's screen here. Going to go to my screen. Do you see how it changed? Right. So there.
Oh, did it just switch?
No, actually, I think we're on different items potentially because you have a. I'm trying to figure out. You're in Canada. That's why. Okay, so you got to switch over to the .com, Anthony. So here's.
Am I on the wrong one?
Yeah. So this is the US version over here. So go if you take that same ASIN and go over to the .com, we're going to get slightly different results. But Jeffrey, this might be an interesting point, though. You might want to check on how your product's data is loaded into multiple countries because the title is very different between the Canadian one and the .com one. And you may not even be selling in Canada, but sometimes having some data control could be beneficial. All right, so title is very short on the US listing, and you might have run some A/B tests to figure that out. But I think when it comes to supplements, those keywords and those titles definitely can be extraordinarily valuable. All right, so Anthony, you've got your listing back up now, right? Okay. So walk me through. So Jeffrey specifically asking his question here: secondary image analysis. Too busy.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So we'll get off the main image for secondary image analysis. Okay, this is pretty good. This is very, very common. Man, I wish I could. I have some stuff that I can't show it, but think about this, right? You've got all of this stuff on the side. What people really want to see is they want to see this nutrition information and then ideally a couple key points. And so I really like what you've done here about like, okay, these are the really cool things, the 20 billion live cultures, these three things. I would take out all of this maybe on the left-hand side. Like this should be a totally different, I would probably break this into a totally different graphic here, and just let like, okay, what can I do to have them focus on less, right? And I'm sure if people, before they buy this, right, this is going to be like a key objection point to know. Is it grain-free? Is it soy-free? Is it gluten-free, non-GMO? And so now I'm competing with like, I'm competing with this, I'm competing with this, competing with this, right? And so I'd probably think about, just breaking these into two different ones and having that be a little bit more visual. For the floor, we can run a test. I don't know if we have time for this, but Floor Dog comes in 4 convenient forms. Okay, so this is interesting. It's showing like the rest of the product line. Taste tested, doggy approved. Again, I would just think about like what the thing that's super unclear to me is like what. Maybe I just don't know. I'm sorry. It's also been a long day, Stephen. I'm just trying to think about this.
Well, you're down in Tulum. You got to go back on vacation here in a minute. So, all right. So, what is the image trying to convey? So, we got 4 convenient forms, right? So, it's kind of like the product grid down on the A+ content where you're linking to your other products. Same concept here. So, the question would be: should that be in slot number 3, or have I not done the job of selling the product to begin with, right? So, like when would be the most appropriate time to show the additional products, right? Should it, is slot 3 the right spot to do that, or should that be in slot 6, right? And so in slot 6 right now, we have a promise to your pup, everything they want, nothing you don't, right? And that's in slot 6. There's just a lot of information, and so I think Jeffrey, you're trying to ask right now, is there information overload? You can see it on Anthony's face.
Here, let me show you. I'll run one more test, and then I think we'll have time to do this. This will blow your guys' minds. This is pretty cool stuff. I'm gonna run a click test on this image gallery, and it's gonna help answer a lot of these questions.
Like, so where does the consumer go?
I'm sorry?
Where does the consumer's eye go? Where do they click, right?
Bingo. Exactly. So I'll show you. This is gonna be really quick, easy to set up. Anytime I'm looking at an image gallery, and you can see like I'm feeling a little, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but I'm feeling like, okay, this isn't clicking in my brain, right? And if it's not, and I'm like trying to go and figure this out. Imagine a customer, they're not going to try to figure this out. They're just going to bounce.
I love cold reviews, right? Like it takes time for you to like process stuff, right? It's not great for live necessarily, but it's a great demonstration of like how the human brain catches up, right? So like basically Anthony is our A version of one of our 50 customers trying to go through this, right? And so, all right, so right now Anthony's building out a stack for you throw this into a PowerPoint, and then you can select which of the images would you click in what order, right?
Bingo, right? So all I'm doing here, I'm just gonna have to, so you can see how quick this is. I've just downloaded the image gallery. Now I'm just gonna scale these up so they're a little bit bigger. And this should be, we're just doing this quick, but okay, 4. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a click test here. Not many people know about this with PickFu. Is this pretty clear? Yeah, this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a little snip of this. Okay, so what I've done is I've just downloaded the image gallery here, and then I'm just going to save this. Okay, so this is like, all right, let's go.
This is definitely a little bit more cumbersome than it probably should be. I think PickFu needs to add this to the feature requests.
We have it. It's we don't have it live yet, but we've been
working on it. You're working on it.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is, this is an open-ended test. If you are running tests, right, and you have multiple options, if you click here to remove an option and you allow yourself to actually only have one option, now you're going to see different poll types, and one of them is the click test. And so basically what we're doing here is we're just going to upload this image, and I'm going to actually say which two images in this gallery. The computer is just going a little slow.
We'll give that a second.
Okay, here we go. So which two images in this gallery would most, man, this is just, it's not PickFu, this is just my laptop. Not our UI, I promise. Okay, which two images in this gallery would most likely convince
you to click?
Well, this is secondary images, right? So they're already on the listing. I'm going to ask them which would most likely convince them, or are most effective in convincing would be.
And so while you're typing that out, Argus asks, I'm considering about the main photo if it's clear and good enough, and he gives us the main photo here. Let me know when you're ready to go back, Anthony. So here, you know, this looks like a classic soap on a stick kind of thing. Pumice stone for feet with handle. Okay, not a soap, it's a pumice. So I think this does actually do a pretty good job of conveying it. The question is, you know, this spot right here, it's a little hard to understand, like, okay, is this a kneecap? Is this a heel? Where are they putting their hand? And the bottom right shot, I don't know what that is at all. I'm trying to figure out what that could even be. Like, I don't know if you put that in the bag or whatnot. But they are attention getting, right? So just this versus only showing the product probably would make sense. Anthony, you ready?
Ready.
All right, we'll go back to your stream. We'll come back to your question, Argus, and do some more there. Perfect. So the question that Jeff asked initially is, you know, secondary image analysis, too busy.
Yeah.
Anthony's asked, which two images in this gallery would be most effective to convincing you to buy these dog probiotics? Okay, let's go to the next step.
We're going to just say dog probiotics, but grammar. So basically, I didn't want them to just pick one. I want them to be able to pick their top two choices. Now, if we had more time, I would do the opposite of this, because I think we're really looking to rip this apart, as I'd say which one of these are, or which two of these are the least effective. I want to know what the worst ones are. But at any rate, what I've done is I've set up this poll. I've done my click test. I've given everyone two options so they can pick their top two favorites. I've gone to a custom audience, and just for the sake of time, we have Amazon Prime and dog owners. And then that's what we're going to do. We're going to let this one start. But basically what you're going to want to do, Jeff, I believe it is, what you're going to want to do is, and we'll send both of these links over to the group, and we'll go and check on the other one. But basically what you're going to...
Yeah, let's go look at the other results while this is collecting.
Yeah, so we already got 31. There's 21 people answering. So like in another 5 minutes, this is going to be done. And now we can start to get a breakdown. Actually, so this is the image for the audit, right? This is the winner. Now, if I start to actually dive into this feedback, I'm sure I'm going to start to see things about that they see groceries inside of the bags, maybe that this is at a different angle. It shows the whole shopping cart. So this is like a good starting point, but you don't want to go and just copy this image. You want to say like, okay, once this finishes, it'll show me a word frequency counter. Are people talking about the bags? Are they talking about color? Are they talking about how it's bright? Are they talking about the shopping cart? And so you're going to integrate that. And maybe you're saying, okay, we want to do something like this, but now we want it to be, you know, the red is going to contrast, like, why do we have yellow fruit here? What if we had like blueberries here and it was like red and blue? And that, you know, I have no idea, but that would be the starting point. What you're going to see here in the end, when this data comes in, is you're going to start to see clicks populate here. And so basically, like, if this, let's just say, for example, I don't know what is going to get the most clicks. I'll show you a completed click test. Do we have 1 more minute, Steven?
Yeah. Why don't you show the responses on the first test we're running, because we got 31 responses, right?
Yeah. Let's. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Start to go through. So let's see. I can't.
Go ahead and read them off if you can.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to look in. I mean, I'm just going to read it word for word then. But this person says, I chose the bag pods first because I can't imagine myself actually taking the time to put dividers in my cart, more or less actually carry them into the store. So that's actually just
Good
a different
feedback.
product.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't have tossed those in there. This person's saying, I prefer the options that show grocery items so you know from just looking at the picture what's it's intended for. Okay, obviously that makes sense, but it's just good to see these things, right? And you can see on the screen too, when I hover over, I can see that this is a female, income range 31 to 60K. She's white, she's got a bachelor's degree, and she's age 25 to 34. This person says, okay, different person, male 61 to 100K, bachelor's degree 35 to 44. This guy is saying that the red is a stimulating color, and I like how the bag is outside of the cart with a lot more bags lined up. It's appealing to me. I also like the blue color with the same layout, right? So we get some, I'm not surprised to see people talking about color. Man, this person wrote a lot. They're saying they like option F because of this. They like option D because of this. It's a long response. I don't know how much you guys can see this, but we'll drop these in there.
Yeah, they're going to be hard to read. So anything you verbalize is, I think, is going to be appreciated for the audience. But let's go ahead and put the URL straight into the comment section.
Sure.
So that URL at the top there. Okay, here we go. So you're going to post that into the comments, and any of you guys that want to go through and see what we just did, you can see. We've been looking at various products today. We looked at the Tuckets. We're going to look at the pumice stone next. But the one that we're running the test on right now is for these grocery cart bags. Anthony is putting into the comment section, and I think the link might have to private chat me.
I think so. I sent it to you in the private chat.
All right, so here we go. So this is the link. I just put that in the chat here. You guys can go check out the results. They're still collecting, but if you put that URL into your browser, you can see the actual results from our test today. All right, so Anthony, anything else you want to show us on the grocery cart test for the bags?
It's going to be unfortunately, I wanted to see if we could just get one click. I just want to show just really quick, if you guys haven't seen it, just even for Jeff, what you would do after you get the results from the click test, right? Because we've run this poll, we just saved you like $70. So go and use it. But let me just show you a completed click test really quick. And it's really, really simple and straightforward.
And the second test, so this is going to be Jeff's, and this is for the dog product. So we'll put that link in the chat as well. And that's so you can go see the second test that we just ran today. All right, so you're pulling up. So Anthony right now is pulling up a previous click test. So you guys can see like what the end result's going to look like.
Oh, have I been sharing the screen the whole time?
Yeah.
That's okay. None of these ones are sensitive. These are just our team ones. Nothing super interesting here. But so this is like a completed click test. I did 100 people, right? So basically what you're going to want to do is you just highlight this, Jeff, and you're like, okay, this got 41 clicks, right? This got 59 clicks. This got 68 clicks, 12 clicks, and 19 clicks, right? So obviously it would be pretty problematic if like this was image number 1, this was image number 2, right? That would be very, very bad. So first thing that you can do is just start to get an idea of like, what should the order of the images be? But what's more important that I do is that, okay, I understand that these 3 are top performing images. So these are doing okay. What I really want to do is I want to ask myself with the low performers, like with this one, okay, either can I make an improvement to this image that is going to follow the same concept of this upgraded solid handle? And can I go and actually create a version of this that's actually better? Or is this a concept that I should be removing entirely? So like for this easy dishwasher safe, people didn't really care, or they just assumed that these meat shredders were dishwasher safe. And so like what you're going to have to do is when you go into the feedback for your specific, oh, no, we already got some, right? But basically, if you're going into the feedback and people are like, well, we really don't care to see the rest of your brand, or we really don't care to see the nutrition information.
And that was, you remember, that was my first impression, right? Like they initially showing the multiple products is not what the consumer is initially looking for. And so I'll be curious to see if the data supports that. And obviously we don't have enough data to make that conclusion yet, but 10 respondents so far.
Yeah. Look, already we're saying, I like the photo of the dogs, and the one I picked it has the 4 animals. I think they're awesome, right? Like we're just 2 comments in and it's like, what's the problem with, we need to be showing more dogs, like more people, like more things that aren't just, okay, what do we got here? It gives the actual information. I love the breakdown. I love the dog breed. So a lot of people like, I would think about how can I just like.
Oh, and it looks like we lost Anthony there. All right. So Anthony hopefully will come back. But basically, PickFu is a program that you can use to test all of your products, and you can run an A or a B version. And in the case of some of the tests that we ran today, and we did put tests directly into the chat. So if you guys want to look at those test results, this is the dog product where we ran the click test, and I think Anthony's reconnecting here. So you can run those click tests right in there. Anthony, you back yet?
I think so.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Well, we hear you, but we don't see you quite yet. So while you're reconfiguring the video, we'll give you a second for that. So you can run PickFu tests to see like where's somebody more likely to click. All right, Anthony's back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So a crazy amount of information that you can gather in less than 30 minutes to an hour of waiting for some poll results. The last thing we're going to look at today, and Anthony, you're welcome to weigh in any further data results that you want, was this one with the pumice stone. So we're going to go over to the pumice stone here, going to add this to the stream. So Anthony, what's your first read on this product? And the question that Argus asked, I'm considering about the main photo, if it's clear and good enough. I have no idea what this is in the bottom middle. So that's the part that I kind of zoomed in on initially when I gave my first pass. Very, very clear with the secondary image stack. So the question is like, okay, if it's only the main image, like how would we improve this? Where would you start?
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, like you have this huge opportunity. You've gotten close, right? You've gotten close on, and we can run a PickFu test on this one as well. I know we don't have time, but we've gotten close. You're showing the product in use, but like that should be the focus, right? And the product is there, but like if you're like, it's super confusing to me too, because does it come with all 3 of these attachments? Like it comes with something with this handle, it comes with this thing that you slide your hand into, and then this thing that you put around like your leg or whatever that is. Like this is just very, very confusing. And so I would try to this would be simple improvements, right? Clearly you're selling this product and it's going well. If you could just make this easily digestible by the brain, right? I'm super confused by this. Yeah, very unclear.
Yeah. I mean, the main product's solid, I think.
Looks good, yeah.
So it's just like, what do these accessories, do? Very, very hard to understand. I think that is true. So if you were going to try and like test this, like how would you improve upon this? Would you just do this version versus only having the handle, or would you try and like swap out the shot somehow? So if we look at pumice stone for feet with handles, if we look at the search results here, and you can see what everybody else has done.
Yeah.
Right. And this is definitely a great video type product, right? Showcasing what it looks like. So here's an interesting one. They actually showed like a composite shot of like using it on the foot, right? Like that. That was clear.
Are you still sharing your screen, Steven? I don't.
Yeah, I am. Okay. All right. So on and then we can see the organic result for this is their product. So this is where they sit in search results right now. Other people are just showing like a packaging shot. Other people are showing the different types of, I guess you call it the end of it, or the textures or whatnot. So there's some options with that. But all right. So Anthony, we're having some technical difficulties. Why don't we go ahead and wrap up here? So again, if you want to test out the results yourself, you can see the 2 live results that we did while we're on the podcast today by clicking on those links. You can also get 50% off PickFu by going to pickfu.com/myamazonguide to first run your tests. And then Anthony, if anybody wants to give you a follow-up question, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Just Anthony@pickfu.com would be fantastic. Yeah.
Great. And any closing thoughts on optimization, photo A/B testing, or whatnot?
Just get started. It seems really complicated when you start, but like, I mean, you can tell them, Steven, you did these optimizations for Age of Sage, right? And this was like big impacts on your brands. Like how long did it take for you to do these main image tests, right? Like to go and create this new creative. It's not labor intensive work.
10 minutes to load the test, but it might have taken like 3 hours of thinking about it or dreading trying to figure it out, right? But like, it's not bad once you get going.
Yeah, just do it. Just get started, because here's the thing. It's like the people who are going to win on Amazon are the people that are focused on the look and feel of their brand. And the people that don't are going to, they're going to lose. That's why people come to my Amazon guy to have them, do the visual optimization and account management, right? So just do it, right? You just got to start.
Finally, the last thing I'll mention, if you need help running your PickFu test, we actually made a landing page. It's just myamazonguy.com/PickFu, and we can help you run. Here's the video where I walk through my age of sage A/B testing we previously did. We can do a certified test and just run it for you, so you don't have to do anything. It's all push button. Just pay us. We'll take care of it for you. We talk about like what is PickFu and all the different areas you can test and whatnot. So we're big fans of PickFu. We've got frequently asked questions. We've shown polls where we've ran, and multiple videos all on the website. So, all right. Well, Anthony, thanks for coming on the podcast today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time down in Tulum.
Hey, man. And look, I'm going to give you a pitch for Steven real quick. Like here's what I'll tell you is I created this agency program about a year ago, and I speak nonstop about this stuff. And I have people that are coming to me all the time, and they're like, Anthony, I've watched your presentation. It's really good. Does PickFu do the work? And I'm like, no, we do not do the work. And they're like, who can get it done? And so we created this agency program to have agencies get certified, to get training on how to run these PickFu tests, and to be able to do the stuff we're talking about today. And the thing is, we had all of these agencies get onboarded and say like, oh, we're really excited about PickFu and we're ready to do it. There was maybe 2 agencies that really took it seriously, and one of them was my Amazon guy. And so out of all of the agencies out there, I can tell you for certain, my Amazon guy is one of the only ones that actually does this and really understands how to do it. And it's worth it, right? Go and spend the money. And it's one of those things you do once, and it's going to have impacts on your brand. So,
yeah, well, thank you for the endorsement there. And it's mutual, right? Like we're big believers in PickFu, and we appreciate that. Well, that's the My Amazon Guy podcast. We actually have 3 podcasts this week. Can you guys believe that? We got 3 of them coming up. So tomorrow is our PPC podcast. We're going to have Destiny Wish on from Better AMS. Come prepared with your come prepared with your PPC test. And then on Friday, we've got our general Ask Steven Anything. So, all right. Well, thanks for everything, guys. We'll